On the show, Niall Horan takes the first step toward following his heart. You've probably heard the expression head versus heart. This mantra is usually applied when we need to blow up our self-esteem over those bothersome, dizzy feelings by taking a step back from a harmful scenario. But there's another factor: what happens when your brain chemistry prevents you from following that thing beating in your chest. The show by Niall Horan argues that it's difficult. I got a PhD. And always running away, he croons on Closer Must Be Love. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, since we should probably start with heaven, or, to be more specific, If You Leave Me, to comprehend his viewpoint on it. The most emotional record I've made, I'd imagine, because I had this massive period of reflection looking into the future a bit, looking left and right more than I've ever done. When you're in the rat race, you tend to just go. Niall Horan to Zane Lowe on Apple Music 1. See, these two tracks have a very similar intro. The lead single Heaven on the show starts with this whirring sensation, like those feather-like clouds have created a loophole that has you rising to the afterlife before drums kick in. Strange light revolves around you, you float across the room. In contrast, the latter still holds touches of that ethereal feeling, but with a sharp intake of breath and a radio dial turning to a different station. He's back in the waking world. Met you in a dream, he sings over this 80 seconds hip-shaking synth. However, they're not the sort you'd be quickly turning off the lights every night to experience, at least on If You Leave Me, as he continues with, chased you through the street, turned around and you were gone. In the following lines, Niall seems to be playing with opposites. He wakes up, thereby what we usually associate with the daytime, while his muse has moonlight on her face. His only way to approach her is through this portal, and if we go down to the bridge, past that bass drama, it could also imply that, whacking up with you gone in the mornin', he admits. The thing is, we believe this is a sentence in and of itself, because Niall has used the conjoining word "o" to connect thoughts on this track If You Leave Me. Oh, I think that I just might lose it completely in the chorus, for example, so if we're going by that, then the couplet "going to sleep with you not here at night." Oh, these feelings, they would just be so foreign is another idea. Nights when one broken glass turns to total collapse, just know this, too, shall pass. Then we're whisked into the mental health anthem Meltdown in track 4's Never Grow Up. We believe this is a comparative piece, and Niall loosely suggests this in the letters he pens for each track on the show. To begin with, where have we infamously heard of this title? Peter Pan, of course. J.M. Barrie, the author of the 1911 tale, writes, "Even though you want to try to, never grow up." Did you really think all of this time it was simply a lyric on Taylor Swift's Never Grow Up? However, bringing in our songwriting Blondie, we can backtrack a TikTok that Niall uploaded on the 4th of November last year, covering Cardigan, where the other lyric, "I knew you," tried to change the ending, Peter losing Wendy, appears. And it's all because Peter cannot shift outside those brain chemicals, thus retreating to our head versus heart hypothesis. Assume we remove Never Grow Up from this theoretical framework. What does it turn into? For one thing, it has this beautifully harmonically placed entrance, full of tidal repetitions that flow into the kind of drum beat intended for slow dancing, and the first appearance of a la 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 la. It's the beginning of him leaning into the heart side of the equation by determining the type of connection he wants to be in and distinguishing between the two. He used comparative language, them and we. The highlight of his voice on his track is in the third chorus, exhibiting his joyful and airy nature.